I saw her before she noticed me. That old gray sedan rolled to a stop like it barely survived the trip. And when the door slammed shut, Karen stepped out with that same look she used to wear, like the world owed her something. After all these years, I never expected to see her again, especially not on the same street she once treated like her personal kingdom. She stared up and down the block, trying to recognize a place she no longer owned. She didn't know it yet, but everything had changed. I wasn't the quiet guy she bullied years ago. I was the landlord of this entire street. The morning was cold, the kind that cuts through your jacket. I sat on my porch with coffee and my father's old chipped mug, the one he brought home from deployment. His flag fluttered in the front yard, colors a little faded but still standing proud. That flag was the start of all of this. The last time Karen and I crossed paths, she tore it down in the name of neighborhood standards, like patriotism was a violation. Back then, she ran the HOA with an iron fist. Then the lies caught up with her, and prison took her place on the throne. Now she was back, walking the street like someone trying to remember a life they no longer fit into. She finally noticed me. "You," she said, the word sharp enough to cut. I set my mug down. "Morning, Karen." She crossed her arms like she still carried authority. "This street looks different. People breathe better when fear isn't in charge," I said. Her eyes narrowed. "I heard you bought up the whole block. Trying to control everything now?" "Not control," I said. "Stewardship. Folks trust me because I don't tell them how to live." She glanced at the flag again, and I could see the memory hit her. The last time she touched it, she ripped it from the pole and fined me $500. I told her it belonged to my father, that he carried it overseas through storms, heat, and nights he never talked about. She didn't care. Said it was a visual disruption. That was the day I changed. She let out a slow breath. "I just want to help make sure people follow structure. Someone has to keep the neighborhood clean." "There is no HOA anymore," I said, "and there won't be." She blinked like she couldn't imagine a world without rules she controlled. You can't let people do whatever they want. That's called living. For a moment her face fell. Without an HOA to hide behind, she looked lost. Like she didn't know who she was without authority. She walked toward the house next door, the one with white shutters and the maple tree that shades the porch every afternoon. "This place is empty?" she asked. "It will be soon," I said. "Tenants are moving out. Want to rent it?" She stopped like she couldn't believe the offer. "You'd rent to me?" "I don't punish the past," I said. "I judge behavior now." She gave a dry laugh. "You really think people here will feel safe with me around?" "We'll see," I said. "Second chances go both ways." Her face softened just enough to see a crack in the armor. But I knew better than to assume softness meant change. A week later, she moved in. Neighbors watched quietly from porches and windows, not angry, just careful. They remembered what life used to feel like. At first, Karen kept her head down. Yard trimmed. Trash bins rolled in on time. She even waved to folks. But old habits return like weeds first. She told a guy across the street his truck ruined curb appeal. Then she started leaving printed notes on doors about trash timing. Then she knocked on Mrs. Delaney's door and told her to remove a garden gnome. That evening, I walked to her porch. "Karen, we talked about this. You don't run this street. Someone has to set standards," she said, rolling her eyes. "People can set their own," I replied. She stepped closer. "You might own these homes, but communities need leadership." "No," I said. "They need respect." That line hit her hard. She stepped back like she wasn't used to being talked to like an equal. Tension grew over the next few weeks. Kids took the long route around her house. Doors shut quicker. Smiles faded near her yard. One night, Mr. Harris, a veteran renting the corner house, knocked on my door with a crumpled paper in hand. "She said she'll report me to some enforcement board," he said. "Said she'll have me evicted over my flag light." I opened the note. It wasn't official. It wasn't anything at all. Just Karen trying to drag people back into her old world. That was the moment anger returned. Not loud, steady, the kind that anchors you. The next morning, I found her already outside. Arms crossed like she expected a fight. "No more warnings," I said. "This ends now." She smirked. "What are you going to do? Throw me out? That makes you just like me," I said. "You used power to control people. I'd only use it to protect them." It stopped her. A crack opened in her voice. "Do you want to know why I came back?" she asked, sitting on the steps. "I'm listening," said. She stared down the street, the same street she once ruled. This was the last place I ever felt powerful. When that was gone, I felt like nothing. I sat beside her, not too close. "You weren't nothing," I said. "You just chose power over people. I don't know how to do anything else." "You can learn," I said. "Start by listening." For a long time, no one spoke. Wind moved through the trees. Kids laughed again. Life settled in like dust on a quiet road. She finally stood. "I'll try. I can't promise I'll get it right." "No one does," I said. "Just don't tear anyone down along the way." She nodded and walked inside. Weeks passed, and change came slow. She stopped writing notes. She started asking before criticizing. She apologized to Mr. Harris, helped Mrs. Delaney plant flowers. She wasn't suddenly friendly, but she was trying. One evening, I sat on my porch with that same chipped mug. Karen walked past with her hands in her pockets. She looked at the flag. "It belongs there," she said softly. "It does," I answered. She kept walking. For the first time in years, the street felt whole. Not because everyone was perfect, but because peace was earned, not forced. The lake nearby was still that evening, and so was I. Sometimes redemption doesn't ask for applause. Sometimes standing up for what's right means standing alone until others find the courage to stand beside. Have you ever dealt with a neighbor or HOA that pushed too far? Drop your story in the comments. I read all of them. If you believe respect matters more than control, hit subscribe and let's stand together.